All right, what's going on? So, fam, welcome to Mirror D Tarot. Today I'm here we're going to do a little bit different with the daily tarot card today. Today we're going to use tarot for guidance on how we can heal in these situations each day up until all of this passes. I'm going to talk about how we're going to start to heal as a collective, as the Black community, as anybody who's been affected by this, people of color, anybody. So this is really just going to be me talking to y'all about how we can start to change our programming and how we can start to implement steps into moving our life in the right direction, how we can start to implement steps of unity, how we can be supportive of each other, and how we can, most importantly, get in tune with and find ourselves. Because that's really what it all comes down to, is finding ourselves and getting in tune with what our purpose is. Because in the program that we've been put in the world that we've been put in, we've been told who we should be. We've been told what's acceptable and what's not. And the crazy thing about it is that even our parents before us were trained in this same program. And so then them thinking that they're raising us they're thinking that they're raising us the right way is basically them raising us as their program as well. And then their parents before them, their parents, and that's why we have generational trauma. That's why we have the stuff that's going on now. That's affecting everybody and everything. That's why racism still exists. That's why people live in whatever type of lifestyle they are exists. And then it's crazy because even the music that we listen to, and even the music that's set for each of our different demographics is programmed to keep us in a certain place. Like if you listen to country music and things like that, it's always about whiskey, tractor, farm, and that's what people begin to associate with as cool. If you listen to rap music and trap music, it's about money, cars, clothes, hoes, all of this stuff and everything. And so then you get people who get stuck in this materialist cycle, completely forgetting about themselves, And so what I'm saying is it exists on all planes, and the best way to handle this is to start to break down our programming and start to look at ourselves and look at who we truly are versus what we've been taught. So today's card, a whole stack of them want to drop out, y'all. A whole stack of them. So today's card, the Ace of Swords. So it's about changing the mindset. The Ace of Swords. So aces are beginnings and swords represent the mental state, the mind. So this all starts with a change of mind. Yes, we can take all the action that we want to in the world, but we have to understand that it starts with the mental aspect of things. It starts with where we are here. And again, like I was talking about programming earlier, this is changing what we think. Because the crazy thing about the way that our brains are programmed and stuff like that is that our subconscious mind is our habits. These are the things that we are unaware of. These are the things that we are just moving through life doing. And our minds are programmed. By the time we're 7 or 8 years old, our minds are completely programmed as to what kind of people we'll date, how we'll receive love, how we'll perceive love, how the things that we like and dislike, whether that's people or things, those things are all programmed in us. Now we do also have the conscious mind, which is our creative mind, the mind that's able to think and create. However, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're like, all right, I'm going to make a different decision this time. And the person looks different and the situation that you meet them in looks different, but they turn out to be the exact same person. Or you think you're taking this big step and moving in a different direction, and creatively you are, and consciously you are. However, it ends up being the same situation over again. That's because our subconscious programming is constantly running, and it's controlling what we feel as safe. So when I say what we feel as safe, what it comes down to is that what's familiar equals what's safe. What's safe doesn't actually equal what's safe. So say you grew up in a household that had abusive family members and things like that, or people that put you down, every time that you needed love, they pushed you away. Now you get older and you tend to date people. You might tend to date people who represent those same characteristics and those same traits, because that's what you consider safe. It's comfortable, and subconsciously you choose partners that are that way, but you have to consciously recognize that that's a pattern in order to start to change. I experienced this with a lot of my relationships and a lot of the ways that I grew up too, and it wasn't until I was able to look at these situations that kept repeating themselves and say, okay, it can't be them. It's not, out of all the 8 billion people in the world, it can't be other people if I'm creating like these same situations? Out of all the infinite possibilities, I'm getting into these same situations. What is it about me that attracts this? So by asking that question, it's a very hard question, because we have to accept responsibility for who we've been, for how we've been, and also at that. But when we accept responsibility, it gives us the opportunity to be able to change, to be able to grow, to be able to step into a new version of ourselves. If we're steady blaming the rest of the world and not taking responsibility for things, then we're unable to how do I put this? We're unable to receive the lesson that's coming in for us. And so it is up to us. And I know a lot of us are like, oh, well, like, you know, my parents did that, or like, you know, my grandparents did that. We live in this day and age. Believe it or not, we still have to undo that generational trauma. And whether you see that on a spiritual level, like, you know, of having to continue and carry the torch for your family in the spiritual way, but even on a physical level, look at the stuff that's here now because of what our grandparents did. It didn't go away. It didn't die with them. So it is still up to us as individuals to take our responsibility and to grab the torch and to heal what they didn't have the opportunity to heal what they didn't have the tools to heal. So that's where we're at today. So today, what I want you to do, in lieu of our programming exercise, is I want you to just observe today. Observe certain behaviors that you do. Pick 3 things out of your day. Try to pick 3 things out of your day that you do, or something that you say very often, and recognize where it comes from. Yeah, pay attention to like where it comes from, and think to yourself when you see this, like ask yourself, it can help to have a journal too, because journals are going to be our best friend in this journey of healing, so that we can see our progress and so that we can actually see what our actual thoughts are and see the way that we've moved from those and the way that we've grown and transformed. This is my way of helping to heal the collective. This is my way of offering tools to y'all to be able to dig into and do the work. You know, it's going to be good for everybody, because as long as everybody is on top of their shit, then like, you know, it shouldn't be as long as everybody's on top of their shit, like the world will be a better place. I guarantee it. So I want you to choose 3, like pick 3 behaviors out today that you have, just stuff that you recognize, and just pick those out. And then once you pick them out, I want you to write them down, whatever you recognize about yourself. Like it may be a phrase that you say over and over again. It may be a type of action that you do over and over again. And then after you write these things down, I want you to ask yourself where this came from. Now, the answer doesn't have to come right away, because subconscious programming can go really, really deep. I'm going to also start sharing meditations to help us to delve into this aspect of ourselves and to start to dig back and back and back, so that we can find the root of these things, so that we can change them and figure out who we are and what we truly want in this world, and who we truly want to be in this world, before the fear was put on us, before other people's opinions were put on us, and before we were put into these little boxes and things like that. So I hope this is helpful for everybody. I hope that y'all are on board with learning new things about yourself every day, because this growth process is going to be, there's going to be a lot of laughter, a lot of tears, a lot of guilt, but that we're going to deal through guilt, a lot of shame that comes up for us, but we're going to learn to deal through the feelings of guilt and shame, because there's no need for that. We're all here just experiencing, and we are all here to undo the programming that has been put up on us. So I hope this helps everybody. I will see y'all next time. Until then, thank you for tuning in. I'm excited about this journey with y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, peace.